Good day to one and all out there. Today we are going to finish this English portion for the second term, and today's lesson is I can and I will. It's about Paralympics. Now Paralympics is like Olympics but for the physically disabled sports persons. Now this lesson deals with a lady called Deepa Malik, who brought India a silver medal in shot put in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Paralympics. Let's start on page 41. You already know well about the Olympics. Do you also know about the Paralympics? Find out the following about this sports event. When did the Paralympics begin? It began in 1960 in Rome. 2. When was the latest Paralympics held? The latest Paralympics was held in 2016 in Rio de Janeiro. 3. How well did the Indian Paralympic sports persons perform at that event? Now in the 2016 Paralympics we had Deepa Malik, who got a silver medal for shot put, Mariyappan Thangavelu, who got a gold for a high jump, and Devendra Acharya, who was the flag bearer, and Varun Singh, also a person who's got a medal at the Paralympics. And India had sent a team of 19 persons, sports persons, to that Paralympics, of which 16 were men and 3 were women. And Deepa Malik was one person in this group. So let's get started on page 41. She just has to put in one last effort for the day. She calmly feels the weight of the ball, picks it up firmly and brings it closer to her neck. She launches the shot towards the throwing area. The mark flashes 4.61 meters on the screen. The nation erupts in joy with chants of India, India, echoing across the streets. She has done what many could never dream of. The name Deepa Malik shall go into record books now as the first Indian woman ever to win a medal at the Paralympics. So there you have the picture of Deepa Malik, who was the first Indian woman to win a medal at the Paralympics in 2016. And she got a silver medal for shot put. Page 42. Born in Sonipat district of Haryana, Deepa Malik is an all-round winner. She is the wife of a veteran army officer, a mother of 2 grown-up daughters, a swimmer, a keen biker, a high-altitude car rallyist, and a motivational speaker, besides being a world-famous athlete who has made India proud. So these are the different qualities attributed to Deepa Malik. She was born in Sonipat, Haryana, and she was and is the wife of a veteran army officer. She has 2 grown-up daughters and a very good sports personality. She was a very good swimmer, still a good swimmer, a very keen biker, a high-altitude car rallyist, a motivational speaker, and also a world-famous athlete. So with all these qualities, Deepa Malik is a world-famous sports personality. Deepa was 6 when she was diagnosed with a tumor in the upper spinal column, but she refused to allow her condition to keep her indoors. She completed her schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William, Kolkata, where she was a school captain. She did her graduation from Sophia College, Rajasthan, where she actively took interest in basketball and cricket. She was also part of the first ever women's cricket team formed in Rajasthan. So it was a very sad thing that happened to her when she was 6. She was diagnosed with tumor in the upper spinal column. But that did not hinder any of the activities that Deepa Malik was interested in. She completed her schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya, that is Central School, Kolkata, and she went on to graduate from Sophia College, Rajasthan, and she was a keen basketball player and cricketer too. Always in love with outdoors, Deepa could be found running around, riding motorcycles and playing various sports, even though she wasn't recovering from her surgeries. She was an outdoor person, so even before she could recover perfectly well from surgery, she was running around playing her favorite sports and games. That's how she met her husband, retired Colonel Vikram Singh Malik, who never found her love for motorcycles strange and has been her pillar of strength ever since. So when she was running around pursuing her interests, her hobbies, her sports, she met Vikram Singh Malik, who later married her, and she has two lovely daughters. However, in 1999, while her husband was away fighting in Kargil, the famous Kargil war, Deepa was left paralyzed, chest down after surgery. Never someone who would give up, she fought to lead her life to the best of her abilities. She learned how to use a wheelchair. She arranged for intercoms and walkie-talkies across the house to oversee household chores which she was unable to perform physically. She was, however, happy that she could spend more time with her daughters Devika and Ambika, who became her arms and legs, running errands on her instructions, while she remained the heart and brain of the household. Other people read books for inspiration. We had our mother, says Devika proudly. So what happened in 1999 is when she was recovering from surgery, she got paralyzed chest below and she was tied down into a wheelchair. But that did not hinder her spirit for adventure and sports, and she kept moving, and she moved around the whole of the house in a wheelchair, monitoring the everyday activities in the house. She kept a keen eye on the maids or the servants who were actively involved in the activities of the house, and her two daughters, Devika and Ambika, were her right hand and her left hand. They were there with the mother, following the instructions closely given by her, monitoring the activities of the house. So what aptly said by the two daughters was, everyone learned from books, but they derived inspiration and learned lessons from their mother, who was tied down to a wheelchair. And as I have to tell you, this lady, Deepa Malik, was a very strong personality, because in spite of the disability of being in a wheelchair, she could make it to the Paralympics and get a silver medal in shot put. Next page. Despite all adverse circumstances, Deepa never gave up on her love for sports. She became the first person with chest down paralysis to swim against the current for a kilometer in the Yamuna in 2008. So you just imagine, below the chest below, she is totally paralyzed. She cannot move on her own. But that did not deter her from taking the challenge of swimming across the current in the Yamuna in 2008. Not across the current, against the current in 2008. A year later, she rode her custom-made motorcycle and entered the Limca Book of Records for riding the first special motorcycle for the differently abled. So again, Deepa Malik got another record made. She made a motorcycle according to her needs, and she rode it, and she entered her name in the Limca Book of Records. After receiving her special driving license, she set multiple records by driving 3,000 kilometers from New Delhi to Leh through high altitude passes, and 3,278 kilometers from Chennai to New Delhi. So she was able to secure her license with all her disability, and she went as a high altitude rallies, that is from New Delhi to Leh, and also she drove from Chennai to New Delhi. That is a distance of 3,278 kilometers. It was a moment of immense pride for the entire nation when Deepa became the first Indian to win silver in shot put at the Rio Paralympics in 2016. She also won many medals at national and state level sports events. At 42 years of age, she became the oldest sports personality to be awarded the Arjuna Award for Sports in 2012. She was also honored with the Padma Shri in 2017. So here, Deepa Malik was honored with the Padma Shri. She won the silver medal in the Rio Paralympics and also many medals and awards at the national and state levels. Deepa is now actively involved in various social causes, talking to others who are differently abled and holding motivational sessions. So though she is physically disabled, she doesn't consider herself a physically disabled person. She is a source of motivation and inspiration to many sports personalities who are now differently able. I don't say disabled, differently able. And she is working for these sports personalities who are differently able across the world and more in India. Her goal is to spread her life's motto, ability beyond disability. And that is what Deepa Malik was. She did not have all the abilities that you and I have today, but her disability did not allow her to stand far away from us. She was one among us, and she has done, I think, better than all of us with all the abilities could have done. Her goal is to spread her life's motto, ability beyond disability, to all in need of support and courage. The journey of Deepa Malik's life has never been an easy one. Instead of giving up, she has surpassed her abilities and proved to the world that she is as able as any of us. So Deepa Malik is one such character who has proved to the world that she is as good as any of us, though she has her own weaknesses and her own difficulties. With this, we come to the end of this last lesson of English. Going on to the exercises. Exercises, let us understand. A. Complete these sentences in your own words. 1. Deepa Malik has won many medals at national and state level competitions. 2. At 42 years of age, she became the oldest sports personality to be awarded an Arjuna Award. 3. When Deepa was in Sophia College, she took part in cricket and basketball. 4. In the Rio Paralympics 2016, she won silver for shot put. 5. Deepa's goal is to spread her motto, ability beyond disability. B. Answer the following questions. What did Deepa find out when she was 6 years old? She realized that she was suffering with a tumor in the upper spinal column. 2. What tragedy struck Deepa in 1999? She became paralyzed chest down after a surgery in 1999. 3. How has Deepa proved to the world that she is able as any of us? The disability did not stop her from carrying on her activities, and she was again into sports, and she won a silver medal for shot put at the Paralympics. She got the Arjuna Award, and she was a motivation to other sports persons with disabilities. How does Deepa help others in need? Now she works as a motivational speaker. She helps those sports persons who are in need of support and gives courage those who need them to face the world. So she is working for the good of all the disabled or differently abled sports personalities in India. With this, we come to the end of the last lesson of English. Your homework will be to do A and B in the notebook, and the vocabulary. You have to find out the meanings from the dictionary, write the meaning and frame a sentence of your own for the words limb, impairment, wheelchair, goal ball and boxia. Thank you. That's all for this term. Have a nice time learning for the exams. Thank you.